So it is an all levels class, so it will be a little bit quicker and stronger than the beginner's version, but I'll offer modifications as we're going through, and I'll probably show you the modification, and Sam will do the more advanced pose or vice versa. We should work it out as we're going along. So equipment wise, if you don't own a bolster, these lovely big pillows, you can always grab some cushions off the sofa or a couple of pillows off the bed for our first posture, which is going to be legs up the wall. It's called legs up the wall, but we use a bolster. But I will show you the wall version as well if you don't have a bolster at home. Blocks are always handy. Again, cushions can be used in their place. And when you come down on your knees, it's always good to have something soft, but again, it doesn't have to be one of these. A cushion can work absolutely fine. Don't think we're using a strap, but it's good to get into the habit of always having a strap or a belt nearby. Just if you can't quite reach somewhere, it's always useful just to have something long. So, it's an immune boosting sequence, so we're going to start with our legs up and allow that lymphatic circulation to come from our feet down to our hips. So Sam is going to jump on a bolster and show you how to either get onto cushions or a bolster. And we aim to get it going across the lower back so that when she lays down and tweaks her bum into the air, then whatever it is you've got, you can pad right underneath that lower back. And you have to find that sweet spot for you so that when your legs come into the air, and there's a gentle gap between the feet, they feel weightless, and it is odd at first, but you will get used to it. The other option, if you don't have one of those, is to sit with your hip right up against a wall. This is the option you would take if you were pregnant or had very, very high blood pressure as well, because it will keep the hips in line with the heart rather than lifting them above the heart. So you get your hip as close to that wall as you can, and then as you lay back and spin your legs up the wall, you're nice and supported by that wall. And then your hands will naturally have gone somewhere. Take the elbows nice and wide. Place the hands on the belly or by the side or on a bolster if you're on one, on your thighs, as long as we have the relaxation through our shoulders, which we can achieve by having those elbows nice and wide. Close the eyes down if it's comfortable. And start taking some nice, slower and deeper breaths, keeping it as soft as you can. Never breathe into a point where you feel any strain. And it always takes a good few minutes, certainly a good few breaths, to start to let the shoulders go, especially if you're going through any stress, which I think probably most of us are at the moment. It takes time to come back down. It takes time to get rid of all of that stress out of our neck and shoulders. And we do that with the lovely exhale. Every time we breathe out, just feel heavier and heavier through your upper back, your middle back, your lower back. Feel the eyes a little heavier in the sockets, and the skin on the forehead being pulled down. If this posture is not for you, for whatever reason, just lay yourselves down on the mat in any comfortable position, whether you're on your backs with your knees bent or you're out flat. You can even lay on your sides. As always, this is your practice. Only you know how you feel. And everybody will always look completely different, even if they're doing the same pose. Maybe setting yourself an intention for today. You don't have to have one, you can just work with your breath, staying present in the room and trying to not let that mind wander. That is the best healing you can do for your body. I'm going to do about 3 more breaths here. Just giving our lovely legs a rest. roll onto any side that your body feels good in. And just stay there. And notice how you feel. And if you ever feel a little bit tired, worn out, drained, whatever it may be, coming into a legs up the wall pose of the Parita Karani is such a beautiful way of giving your body a bit of vitality. They say just a few minutes is like a really lovely nap. And getting yourselves ready to move as we come up onto our hands and knees. See how you feel. Now, if you're not ready for a downward dog just yet, you can take the knees wide and take a child's pose here and just lean back. If you feel up to it, you can tuck your knees and go straight into that downward dog. Bending one knee and then the other. And see how it feels in this downward dog, which we do so often, but never normally this quickly at the start of practice, or straight after a legs up the wall pose. So maybe your legs might feel a bit different in this today. Just listen into your body. And let's walk those feet to the hands and take a dangle. Holding onto the opposite elbows, bend the knees, and we're now allowing gravity to really make it easy on our lymphatic circulation from our bums all the way to our heads, because it travels the opposite way. And we've done our feet to our hips, we're doing our hips moving further up, relaxing the head, using the exhale to really elongate that spine. Feel your belly filling up on those thighs, and then feel your back getting even more spacious. Notice the vertebrae stretching. And bring the hands down. Let's step straight back into that downward dog again. Finding stillness in our downward dog this time. Melting the chest a little further towards the thighs, maybe lifting the bum a little higher, sending the backs of the thighs to the back of the room, arms are nice and strong. And then drop your knees, take them wide and enjoy a child's pose. Listening to that breath, feeling that breath, staying present in this moment. And then coming onto your hands and knees. Okay, so the knees are under the hips and the hands are under the shoulders. Be careful with your shoulder here. So we're going to take a twist, but we're not twisting from our hips. So I'll show you first. When I take that right hand behind my back, I'm going to twist by opening the right shoulder, but I'm not leaning back or bringing my legs in any way. I'm trying to keep my hips stable. So give it a go. Take your right hand behind your back and keep, if you can, your hips level with the floor. So it's just your shoulders that are rotating. It's really quite difficult. Because naturally, you want to bring the rest of the body in. And I'm saying, no, we can't. We've got to lock it. It's quite tough. And then we're going to take the left leg back. And that kind of allows you to maybe feel more that the hips are facing down. And then maybe you can twist the shoulder a little more. And you may feel muscles and ligaments in that side that you're not used to stretching. As long as there's no pain, we're all right. And we're breathing. And then bring the right hand down, lift the left hand up, side plank with the knee down. And breathe. And maybe your left hand can come overhead to the front of your mat, and maybe you can lift And then maybe you can bring your left knee to your left elbow and extend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. And you're just starting to warm up and crunch that knee in. And if you want to take it up a level now, you can pop your left foot on the floor, lift the right knee off, and bring the right knee to the left elbow and extend. 5, 4, and 3. This is tough, you can always go back to the other version. 2, and 1. Well done. Bring it round into a plank, child's pose. And breathe, feel the heart rate, especially if you took that more advanced option. And come back onto your hands and knees. Let's try that on the other side. So let's take that left hand around the back. And then starting to twist just from the left shoulder. So as I lift my left shoulder, it's almost like I'm dropping my left hip down, lifting the left shoulder, dropping the left hip. You can gaze over if your neck's okay with that. And it's tough to breathe. It's like we're putting pressure all around our thoracic spine, so our lungs can't quite inflate as they do normally. So it's more important here to try and make more space, to try and breathe deeply, and taking that right foot back. Maybe you can then drop the left hip, but lift the left shoulder even more. It's really tough. 2 more breaths. And then bring the left hand down, lifting the right arm up now. Oh, it's nice to get the pressure off that wrist. Into side plank. And you can stay here, or you can take the arm overhead and lift that right foot. Tummies are in, and you can stay here, or you can start bringing elbow to the knee and extending. Using 1 breath per move if you can, whichever way feels good for you. And you can carry on with this, doing 5 more, or placing that right foot on the floor, and then lifting the left knee, which is much harder. 4 more. Well done. Plank. Child pose, drop the knees, take them wide. Enjoy that. So that's all been quite restricting on that breath, so enjoy how your ribs can inflate without any pressure here, and your lungs can fill up. And just enjoy that. And then coming forward, placing your hands down. We're going to just work through a couple of little flows into our chaturanga tricep press up. So keeping the elbows in, taking a little dip of the shoulders. This is what our chaturanga is. What we're going to do is come from child's pose, and the same principle of keeping those elbows tucked in, but we're going to flow forward, keeping the elbows in, and then take the tiniest back bend, and then push back into child's pose. So we take a big flow forwards, and then push back. And if that's too much for you, you can just come forwards, drop down, and then push back. You don't have to do the flow. And this is just gently warming through, working all the little muscles, tops of the arms, around the shoulders. 1 more time. And if you want to add on to this now, when you come forward, your back bend, instead of being belly down, will roll up into an up dog. And then you can take a down dog. And then you can drop your knees and roll forward into an up dog and take a down dog. If you're really hardcore, you can go from down dog, roll forward, up dog. It's tough, that one. And then down dog. So you're rolling it through, taking that up dog. And then finding your down dog. Whew. Drop your knees and enjoy child's pose. It's tough, that one, isn't it? Should I give you a warning about that? I know. It's cheating. And then when you're ready, let's come forward, tuck the toes, downward dog. Step your feet to the front of the mat, take a down dog. And let your heart rate return slowly back to where it's comfortable. Drop your hands, push into the feet, tummies in tight, squeeze the glutes, rise up. And hands to the heart, let's flow. Rise up, forward fold, classical sun salutations. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the bum. And then let's take the right foot back, drop the right knee. Rise up. And then we take a plank, chaturanga. So you can drop your knees here if you wish. Take a back bend, take your downward dog. And then step the right foot forward, drop the right knee. Rise up. Bring the hands down, step forward, forward fold. Lift the chest, lift the bum. Deeper forward fold. Push into the feet, rise up, inhale. And hands to the heart. We'll do it on the left now. Rise up and forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back, left foot. Drop the left knee. Rise up. Hands come down. Plank, chaturanga. Back bend. And downward dog. Step forward with the left foot, drop the right knee, rise up. And forward fold. Halfway lift. Deeper forward fold. Push into the feet, rise up. And hands to the heart. Let's do that again, but I think we will start. No, I'm going to do another round, but I'm going to cue your breath this time, so you don't have to do it along with the cueing of the breath, because it can be difficult. So don't worry if you can't do it in tune with the breath, just do it as feels good for you. So as you rise up, you inhale. As you forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step the right foot back, drop the right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Exhale, drop the left knee. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, deeper forward fold. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Left side, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, the left foot forward. Exhale, drop the right knee. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, deeper fold. Inhale, rise up. And hands to the heart. Well done. Let's sit back into a chair and see how that feels. So we're going to do sun salutations. salutations version B, and then we're going to add on. So for version B, we need to know about a chair. This is a chair, so the weight is back, so the heels and knees are in alignment, so we haven't got the weight into the toes. Just imagine you're perching your bum. It doesn't have to be a big, long, deep chair unless you want it to be. The only thing to avoid is those knees coming together if the feet are apart. If you find that your knees knock, just bring your feet together. So we would inhale here into our chair. Or you can put your hands into your heart because it can be a bit pinchy on your lower backs. Tuck the bum under if you find it's really pinchy and scoot the belly out. So we would inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale straight back into a plank chaturanga. Inhale, back bend, and exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift the right foot. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through. You can drop your right knee if you wish. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. And exhale, downward dog, 3 breaths. You can drop your knees here, you can take a child's pose, you can do whatever feels good for you. One more breath. And then bend the knees, sit the bum back, gazes forward, and step up or jump to the top of your mat, let your head go. Halfway lift, and deeper forward fold. Inhale, chair. And exhale, stand up. Well done. Inhale, chair. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And jump or step back into your plank. Chaturanga. Knees up or down. Little back bend or big back bend. And downward dog. Lift the right foot, inhale. And step the right foot forward. You can drop the left knee if you wish. It's up to you. And chaturanga. Any back bend. And downward dog. And lift the left foot this time. Stepping it through. Right knees off or on. Well done, chaturanga. Back bend. And downward dog. 3 breaths. And then we're going to move on the next sequence. So you can always take a child's pose, listen to your body. 1 more breath. Bend the knees, gaze forward. And walk, step or jump to the top of your mat. Let your head go. Halfway lift. And a deeper fold. Chair. And standing up. Okay? Good. So, we're going to move on. We're going to be doing a few chairs today. We'll see how we feel. So we're going to come into a chair, but we're going to keep our hands in our chest this time. So tuck the bum under if you've got any niggles in that back, or if that's how you want to do it. And listen to that body. Weight in the heels, not in the toes. And see how it feels to start to twist your body to the left. So as I twist to the left, it's just my shoulders. If I start to twist my hips as well, my right knee will move forward. So I'm trying to keep my knees level and just twist from those shoulders. So as you twist over to the left, you're drawing your right hip back. Makes it really hard because naturally that right hip wants to come forward. Take the weight into your left foot so you can start to almost hover that right foot off the floor and step it back so slowly until you come onto the toes in that back foot. If this is too much, drop the back knee and bring the toes down. And take that big twist. Is that back leg as strong as you can get it? Are the shoulders twisting round as much as is comfortable for you? And then bring it back to centre. Drop your hands and start to straighten through your front leg. It may pop the hip, not in a bad way, just a bit of a click. Don't lock the knee. And then maybe you can fold over that front thigh to wherever feels good for you. A big hip stretch. And breathe. Bring the hands down firmly. Plank, chaturanga. Or you can drop the knees. Back bend. And downward dog. And see how that feels. Let's bend the knees, gazes forward, and step up or jump to the top of the mat. Let your head go. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Chair, hands staying at the chest. Let's twist the other way. Now again, your left knee may want to come forward. And if by keeping it in line, it's hurting your hips, then let it come forward. You just get a deeper twist around the middle of your ribs and back. If you keep the knees in alignment, let the hip back, the left hip, go back as you twist to the right. It's really tough. And breathe. This is a fire pose, as you can probably feel. We were moaning, weren't we? We were cold before. I'm not cold now. We can't put the heaters on because of the noise. And put the weight into the right foot. And slowly lift that left foot. Like you're dredging through mud as you come back. Twist, twist, twist. You can always drop that left knee, which is quite nice. If that's too strong on the legs and the hips, and you can just work with that twist in the body. Last breath wherever you are. And bring those hands down. Starting to forward fold as you straighten the right leg, only as far as is comfortable for you. And just fold. You can do this with your left knee on the floor. You can put blocks underneath your hands. Whatever you need, you modify at all times just to make the pose comfortable for you. Get ready for your plank, chaturanga, which we shall do now. And downward dog. Well done. And wiggle it through. Do whatever feels good until you find stillness for 2 more breaths. And then bend the knees. Bring yourself to the top of your mat. And let your head go. Halfway lift. Deeper forward fold. Chair. And breathe. This time as we twist left, we're going to hook the right elbow around the left thigh, unless it's not comfortable, in which case you stay with what we did last time and you keep the arms hovering above. Otherwise, hooking that right elbow around. And then you're trying to twist your chest to your hands and your hands to your chest. Now, as I've put quite a lot of pressure there, notice how far forward my right knee has come, because really my body wants to be a bit further back. So whatever feels good for you. Sit the bum down and twist, twist, twist. Tummy's in tight. Let's take the weight back into that left foot. Start to hover the right foot. Oh, it's a bit harder now. And step back. Now what we want to do here, it's normal if you're not used to this pose, to have that left elbow right up in the air. See if you can bring the arms in alignment by really dipping that back hip. Watch that back leg is nice and straight. You can always drop that back knee if you need. And then maybe you can open the arms out. Don't worry if that's not there for you. And breathe. And bring the hands either side of your front foot. And lift your chest. Really let the hips go and feel how lovely that is. A nice big hip stretch. Drop the right knee if you need. Be careful here. Drop the right knee if this is going to be too difficult as we rise up. Oh, feel that one. Into a high lunge. So I'm tucking my glutes under, bringing my bum forward. There's a bend in the back leg now. I'm on the toes of the back foot. And I'm going to open my arms out into a twisted warrior two towards my front leg. And I'm breathing. At least try it. Well done. Twist the other way. Placing the right heel down. Normal warrior two now. Gaze down the front fingers. Squeeze the butt under. And breathe. Enjoy the fact we haven't got a twist on. Drop the back hand, lift the front body, reverse warrior. And then dropping your front arm, extended warrior. So you can place your hand on your back, or you can take it overhead. This is where a strap may be useful, but don't worry, you can just come onto your clothes. I'm going to face the other way, so you can see two angles as we take a bind. So stay in here, or you can start to drop your front hand to the mat. And then dropping your front shoulder. And placing your left hand underneath your thigh, patting yourself on that left butt cheek. And maybe the upper hand will come around. And if it does, you're opening that right shoulder to the ceiling. Gaze can be up or down. Whatever feels good for you. And you can still be here, just opening that chest. And then releasing the hands down, walking yourself to the long edge of your mat. So here we're going to work with a twist once we've got ourselves into a forward fold. So if you're not very flexible in the backs of your legs, bend the knees as much as you need to either get the hands down or get them onto blocks or cushions. Take the feet as wide as is comfortable for you. Come onto your fingertips or cushions, and then start to lift the bum, lift the chest and roll the shoulders back, activating the whole of those back muscles. I'm really pushing into the outer edge of my feet, lifting my bum, sending the backs of my thighs to the back of the room, straight or bent knees, whatever feels good for you. And when I start to fold, I'm folding from my groin first, keeping my chest lifted. Walking my hands back, then the mid back, and then my head. And hands can come in line with the feet, underneath the shoulders, with a nice right angle chaturanga arms, or they can be on any cushions or anything that you need. And we're going to twist. We're going to walk our hands to our left foot. I'm going to melt our chest over our left thigh. You can hold on to your left ankle, you can do whatever feels good here. As you just take a nice twist from the shoulders. Open your shoulders to the ceiling. I feel like the Exorcist, don't you? Whatever feels good here. Well done. And coming back to centre. Turning your front toes to face the front of the mat. Walking your hands forward, plank, chaturanga. Taking that back bend, taking your downward dog. If you've had enough, now's the time to drop your knees if you need, or 2 more breaths in your downward dog. Listen to your body. Enjoy what you're doing. It's challenging for sure, but it's good. Bend the knees, sit the bum back, gazes forward. Come to the top of your mat, let your head go. Halfway lift, lift the bum, lift the chest. And deep forward fold. Chair pose. Nearly. And we're going to twist it the other way. So sit that bum back, and we're going to hook the left elbow around the right knee this time. Or you can twist without hooking, it's up to you. You want to take that extra lever, and every time my left knee juts forward, that's fine, I can sort it out once I've got there. Get myself into position, twisting my chest towards my hands towards my chest, and then bringing my left hip back and breathing. Big, big twist all around especially my middle back, around the backs of my ribs. When you take that big inhale, notice where you can feel the expansion. And then putting the weight into the right foot. That left foot is super light as you take a big step back. Let your hips drop as much as is comfortable for you, as long as they're not just hanging loosely, as long as they're still active through that back heel and that back foot. If your right elbow has come up, try and peel your chest, your belly away from your thigh. It's really hard in the hips to try and lift the chest and to have the forearms a lot straighter. Maybe you want to open the arms out, or maybe not. Not for me today, that one. Yeah, give me a wobble. And breathe. Well done. And bringing your hands forward. Oh, it's nice, that one. And lift the chest. If you want to let those hips dip a little bit now, you can too. It's quite nice. You can always drop that left knee, of course. This is the hard bit in that right hip, as you have to start pushing into that right foot and the back heel to rise up. Oh, warrior one. No, lying, high lunge. And really squeeze the glutes. And we're going to take our twisted warrior two, which means we twist into our thigh. Be careful with your sacrum. You can always drop that left knee and do this, or keep the hands in the chest. Listen to your body. As we twist back round into a more traditional warrior two, placing the back heel down and opening up. Oh, heart rate is pumping now. Big breaths. Dropping the back hands, lifting through the front of the body, reverse warrior. Gaze coming down if you prefer. Shoulders away from the ears. Well done. Extended warrior. Drop that elbow. Hand can stay on your waist or come overhead. Wherever feels good for you. Wherever you are though, you are opening that left armpit to the ceiling. If you want to try the bind, taking your right hand down to the floor and then dropping the shoulder, bringing the hand under the thigh, patting yourself on the right butt cheek, see where you can get that hand. You can hold on to the clothing, you can bring the arms round, or you can take a strap, or you can just enjoy being in one of the modified versions. Listen to your body. Big breath, opening your chest. Well done. Bringing your hands down and walking them to the inside, the long edge of that mat. Getting ready for our forward fold here. So maybe the feet want to come a little bit wider. And before we start, let's activate that back again. So fingertips. Bring your hands forward so the weight is slightly into the toes. Not so the heels are actually lifting, but they kind of feel like they might want to a little. And in this forward fold, our heels are always slightly further out than the toes. So it's not toes out, heels in. Heels out, toes in. And then send the thighs back, lift the bum, lift the chest. We're trying to arch our back, activate all of the spinal supportive muscles. By activating them, they will loosen and soften more when we forward fold. So let's fold from our groin, keeping the chest lifted, walking the hands back, then the mid back, and then the upper back. And let it go. Hands come wherever feels good for you. Big, lovely breaths. as we take it into a twist over to that right ankle. And it's a twist of the shoulders, not a twist, not like we're trying to twist the legs or the hips, it's the shoulder. I'm trying to twist that chest all the way up and forward fold at the same time, so it's quite challenging. You can place that left elbow on the floor if you wish, and twist, hands wherever feels good for you. One more breath. And bringing it back up, gently and carefully, turning onto the toes, toes to face forward on the right foot. Bring the hands forward, plank, chaturanga. Back bend, and then downward dog. If you've had enough, you can take child's pose, listen to your body, just going wherever feels good for you. Just got one more standing sequence to do. So let's get ready to finish this last little sequence. So bending the knees, gazes forward, bringing ourselves to the top of the mat. Let the head go. Halfway lift, really lift the bum, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and let it go. Let's sit the bum back, inhale fully into a chair, and exhale. Okay, let's enjoy standing sequence here. And we're going to start with a tree pose. So, starting with the left foot down, and we're going to be bringing the right leg in. So with tree, the hips face forward, and it's our hips face forward, and it's our knee that opens the hip joint on the one side. So you can start by having the toes on the floor, and that'll give you really nice balance. Or, if your tummy's pulled in, and you're nice and stable through that left foot, you can bring the toes into the calf muscle. Try not to have them on the knee joint, even though that's where they always tend to go. Or the heel can come into the inner groin, and you push the heel into the groin, inner thigh, and the inner thigh into the heel. And the tummy's in tight, and you squeeze the butt cheeks to bring the hips forward and allow that knee to open. And hands can always come into the chest. Roll the shoulders back and lift the chest. And breathe. And if you feel okay here, you can start to open those lovely branches. And moving is fine. Notice again if your tummy muscles are pulled in nice and tight, that's going to really help the balance. Beautiful. Well done. We're not going to allow that right knee to come to the floor. We're going to bring the arms overhead, and we're going to bring that right knee into the chest. And we're going to take pistol grip, which is where we join the fingers and join the fingers except for the first two. We have them, it's like a gun. Charlie's Angels fingers is where we call them. And you can stay with your right knee bent. We're going to bring fingers to toes or knees to elbow as a modification. So you can crunch your knees to your elbows, or with a straight leg, fingers to toes. And we inhale to lift, and we exhale to squeeze wherever you are. 3 more. And we are trying not to drop that right foot. 2 more, I think, lost count. Last one. And we're not using momentum. Don't let that foot drop, because we're going to bring the hands down. Whoops! Take standing splits. So send that right foot in the air. Bring the hands in line with that left foot if it's comfortable. Maybe you can take your left hand around your left ankle and melt down over that leg. Maybe your right hand can as well. Ooh, I don't know if I can do that today. Ooh, well done. And bring your right foot to the floor. Place your hands on the floor, or you can use blocks. Because we are going to exhale, straighten up the legs, drop the head, Inhale, bend, lift the chest. Exhale, but we're keeping the heel of the hands on the floor, which is where we can use blocks or cushions or bolsters. So we inhale, bend, lift the chest. Exhale. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Keeping your left hand on the floor now. You can move it forward and move it over to the left. We're going to take a half moon. You can use a block if that's easier. You're going to start to take the right foot behind you, and then maybe you can lift your right arm. Gaze down gives you the most balance. You can start to look to the side and look up if you feel comfortable there. And the last modification here is to bend the right knee into the chest, take hold of the foot, and then send the knee back if you want to be there. And the very, very last move is to slowly lift the left hand off the floor, which I'm not going to be able to do today, to dance a pose. Yes, go on, Sarah. Yay! And bring it down, step back into downward dog, and wiggle it through. Amazing. It's a really tough challenge, that last little bit, as you saw, so that was fun. Okay, let's walk our feet to our hands. And rise up slowly, carefully. Ready for a trim, done it, I think, really. Right foot on the floor. Choose which tree you'd like to take. Whether you want to keep those left toes down, or you want to bring the left foot onto the calf muscle, or you want to bring it in, start pulling that tummy in tight, wherever you are. Pushing the heel into the thigh into the heel, zipping up the core muscles, and just trying to be still, but with the ability to bend in your tree just a little. Stillness of the mind. Opening the branches if you've got that there today. Squeezing the butt cheeks forward, relaxing the shoulders, opening your hearts, but feeling grounded through your right foot. This is a grounding pose. 2 more breaths. And trying to keep the left foot off the floor if you can, as you bring it into your knee. And lift the hands, hitting your Chinese angel fingers or pistol grip. The option again of knee to elbow or straightening the leg. Going slowly to keep the balance. Fingers to foot. Let's do 5 more. Trying to inhale as you lift and exhale as you lower. You have to go slow because balancing is so hard. Keeping the tummy in tight. I've lost count because I'm whipping life. Last one. Oh, and standing splits, dropping the hands, lifting that left leg into the air this time. Rooting down through that right foot so firmly to lift that left leg a little more. Maybe you can hold on to the back of the right ankle and melt yourself down. And maybe you can hold on with the other hand as well. And if you can't balance today, like me, it's fine. We always have days where we can't balance as well. And bring that left foot down. Heel the hands down, even if it means you need to do it on those blocks. Bend the bum, bend the bum. How do you bend your bum? Drop your bum, bend the legs, lift the chest. And then lift the bum, drop the head, exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Move in your own time. And we're just working into our hamstrings. Try not to completely lock the knees. And we're going to come into that half moon on the other side. As we take the right hand maybe a little bit further forward and out to the right, you can take it onto that block if you wish. Slowly start to take that left leg behind you and then lifting the left arm into the air. Keep the gaze down so you have your balance. Once you've got the balance and you roll the shoulders away from the ears and you open your left armpit to the ceiling, tummy's in tight, maybe then you can change your gaze. Last little challenge. Bending the foot, taking hold of the ankle, and then push the foot into the hand into the foot, and maybe dancer. Sorry, no worries. Dance a pose if you wish, and then let it go. At least you did it. Very quickly. Oh dear, let's take downward dog and wiggle the bum. It's called quick step. Drop your knees, take them wide, and take a child's pose. I know, it's nice, isn't it? Big breaths. Noticing how you feel. And then bringing yourselves up. Sitting on your bottoms. And let's just enjoy a nice twist. We don't often do this one. I don't know why. We're going to take the right leg out in front. And we're going to bring that left knee, bend the left knee, bring the left foot into the inner thigh to take Jani Sukhasana, half forward fold. You can place a block underneath if you need. If you don't need, that's fine. You can also sit on a block, which can help sometimes just to tilt the pelvis forward. Literally just sitting on the very edge. Could be a cushion or a blanket, doesn't have to be a block. Let's activate the back muscles just like we did on that forward fold. So gently lifting the chest and sending the bum back like you're almost trying to arch the back. Lifting it up as tall as you can. You may just feel an activation down the back, which is good. Tummies are in, so it's a big activation, front and back of the body. You're feeling the whole of that right leg down on the mat, flexing the toes of the right foot towards your face. And as you fold forward, like we have been, fold from the groin and keep the chest lifted. So you may not be able to go any further at all here, whilst the chest is lifted. And all you've done is give way at the crease of the groin. But then you start to let the middle of the back go. But you're still keeping that upper back active. And then the upper back can go. And you inhale and lengthen the spine. And you exhale to let it go. You can hold on to your feet if you want, as long as you're not tugging. Wherever you want to be. And I'm bringing it back up. Let's swap it over. Oh. Bringing that right leg in. Any twinges, just padding under. You don't even have to have it in, you can have it out. Just please listen to your body, wherever you want to be. Activate. Lift the chest. Almost like you're sending the bum back. Roll the shoulders back. It's like you're trying to back bend here. Flexing the toes. You're trying to peel the tummy up and away from the thigh. And as you forward fold, only from the groin. So it may not move at all. And then see if you can just let the next few vertebrae bend. Keeping this upper body still stiff. And just notice how amazing the spine is. How you can section it off until you let it completely go. And holding on or not to wherever is comfortable, as long as you're not pulling anywhere. And one side is always more flexible than the other.
My head will comfortably touch my knee here, but it will not do it on the other side, and that's fine. We're never symmetrical. One more breath.
And then bringing it back in. Laying yourselves down. Let's just hug those knees in. And then placing the elbows on the floor and the hands above. Just let the knees fall from side to side, just gently being caught by the hands. We've already done some twists, so we're going to go straight into our Shavasana, final relaxation. You can keep the knees bent and take the feet wide and let the knees fall together, or you can just lay out spaciously. Space between the thighs, elbows wide, wherever you are. Palms up, or you can place the hands on your belly. Close the eyes down. Scanning the body. Are your teeth gently parted? And your shoulders away from the ears. Is your head and neck relaxed? You can always take your head from side to side gently and then let it come to rest wherever feels good. Relaxing your tummy muscles now, relaxing your butt cheeks. Let your hips be heavy. See if you can let your back ribs really melt down onto that mat. Every exhale almost hollows out your body as it sinks down into the mat. Thinking about every aspect of your breath without letting the mind wander. How it feels. Is it warm or cold? How deep can you feel it going? How fast or slow is it? Which parts of your body move as you breathe? And seeing if you can make your inhale even longer now. And sigh it out. To a few more of these big inhales. And starting to move your body either with a stretch, or you can bring the knees into the chest one at a time. You can sway your hips. Just do what your body wants to do until you come to a nice self hug with the knees into the chest. And then coming to roll on your right side. Taking a nice deep breath and noticing how you feel here. Gently bringing yourselves up to seated. You can keep your eyes closed if you wish. Sealing our practice. Let's feel grounded in our sit bones, lifted through the chest and relaxed in our shoulders. Taking a big inhale and a soft, slow breath out. Bowing your head, touching your forehead. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.